Hello. Hello, how are you doing? Just as the music was finishing, uh, the light went off. You can see the light changing. I don't know what's happened here. Hang on, just give me a second. Be with you in two shakes of a lamb's tail. What on earth went on there? Get out of there. Oh no. Oh, something like that. What does that even mean? Now, oh, that's more like it. Ah, oh, that's mad. Okay, everything just goes wrong at the very last second. Anyway, how are you doing? Now everything's gone yellow. So how are you all? Who's there? Let's have a look. Pietro, and oh, ciao. How are you? Where are you watching from in Italy? Mm-hmm. And yes, how did you hear? Did you just happen upon this live stream? I hope the weather is better where you are than it is here. It's absolutely dreadful. Oh, good. I'm so glad that the videos are helpful for you. Um, what's going on there? What happened there? Something went very strange. Hey, Ivor, how you doing? Hang on, let me see. That's not. Now what's happening? Everything went a bit sort of bit strange there for a second. Yes, Ivor, how are you doing? Half expected you to see you at the exhibition, but I mean, I realise everyone's got sort of things to do. But anyway, I had an exhibition at the weekend for Culture Night, which kind of went very well. It was a huge sort of undertaking for just a weekend. Because I was showing for, oh, Naples. Oh, my daughter just came back recently from Naples. She enjoyed it very much. I've never been. I've got as far as Rome, nowhere further south, but I'd love to go to Naples, especially with my interest in ancient history. I'd love to see Pompeii and Herculaneum. I really do want to see them. I've flown over. Actually, no, I did go further south. I went to Sicily once, but I didn't get to Naples still. Yeah, I was. Oh, you were there! Oh my goodness, I didn't even see you. I'm so sorry. Um, I'm glad. Yeah, I mean, there was a huge amount of paintings like to show in one. I don't know whether you can see this. Not very easily, I wouldn't imagine, with that light. Gosh, that is very bright, isn't it? You can't see it. 46 paintings there. Why is it so bright all of a sudden? Miles, how are you doing? Heavy rain in Cornwall. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yes, I know. It's desperate here. And I've just realised tonight that this studio is not long for this world. I've got water coming in just above me here and it's dripping down. It's hitting the desk and splashing onto my keyboard. It never was a great build in the first place. I shouldn't have paid for it, but yes, I thought I'd better get one built for myself rather than have one of those prefabricated ones. I would have been better off with a prefabricated um, studio. This is absolutely, and it was rotten from day one. Terrible, bad job, bad builders. Yeah, they don't turn up on time and then they do a bad job. Some of these people. Maybe it's just the ones I employ. Yeah, maybe I should have spent a bit more money and got a better job done. Yeah, terrible weather, and we're heading into. I don't sort of mean to sort of depress you, but us in the northern hemisphere, or the very north of the northern hemisphere, I think we're in for a bad winter because we had a bad summer as well. Any huff, how are you all getting on? Any painting done during the week? And also, Pietro, I presume that's how you pronounce it. I hope I'm not pronouncing it badly. Um, you said you like the videos; they're helpful, and I'd like to know. Maybe give me some suggestions of what you'd like me to cover. I think it would be a good idea, rather than just going over the same things all the time. I might try different sort of different palettes or something like that, or yeah, I mean, it'd be a good idea to understand what you need. I think that's sort of the basis for for good live streams. Anyway, so I said in my little advertising thing, I look like I've got a tuft on the top of my head that's just coming around on there. I think I'm losing my hair, and what there is it just sticks up in spikes, like a punk. Well, not very much like a punk. Anyway, so yes, what else happened at that exhibition? I had a whole load of politicians turn up because it turns out that we're going to have an election probably mid-November by the sounds of things, and it hasn't been announced yet, but a little bird told me that, that's the likely date because they're just trying to get together policy documents and so forth in time for that. So it sounds like it'll be before Christmas anyway. I'm not looking forward to that. But it was kind of nice to see some people, and there's one particular Labour candidate. I'm not really sort of anyway. We say, but she's very nice, and we were looking at a painting, and it turns out she lived down the road from the scene where I was that I was depicting, and she said, "Oh yes, I live just down there, and that road there's disappearing off around the corner in the distance," and I said. Oh yeah, okay, that's nice. Yeah, that's on the corner of Lennox Street and on the South Circular Road in Dublin. It's a nice area, and an area that I walked around a lot during COVID. I was kind of exploring, and that was one of my favourite areas to walk around. And she said, "Yeah, I got all the roads fixed around there. So all those sort of road markings will be nice and sort of new and sharp, and just like in your painting." So she kind of got the politics in. So I said to her, yeah, okay, well, I thought I might as well use the opportunity to get my politics in. I said, this painting should be in the Irish National Collection, because it records a particular event, time, and theme of that particular time, and it would be useful in many years to come to look back on it and see the way things were and the mood of the country, kind of thing. And so she took it on board. So who knows what might happen? Because she said at the end, she was parting, she said, "I'll be back for your vote." There you go. Let's have a look. You find very interesting videos on palette knife technique. Okay, exploring that loose style. Yeah, palette knives. I do a bit of palette knife painting in my class. I've never done it on video. I wouldn't put myself forward as a palette knife painter because I tend to have this kind of slightly obsessive way of working, which I try to deal with. Using the palette knife is actually one way of actually stopping being so, trying for perfection, I suppose. Yeah, so yeah, I could do a palette knife job, see what happens. Because who cares? Painting's all about making a mark and correcting it, isn't it? So your mistakes are just as valuable, as getting it right. You can't get it right all the time anyway. So to work, shall we? So what I'm going to paint is, did that go? Yes, that. Okay, so that's a silver jug. I've been painting it all week. Okay, so and it is in front of me. Let me show you that just to make sure. If I just grab my camera, and turn it over to there. There you are. Can you see it? It's terribly bright over there. It's causing terrible glare. Anyway, but it's there, and I can sort of adjust my my eyes will adjust to the glare, I suppose. So let me show you what I'm going to paint on. What I'm going to paint with. Actually, that's the usual thing, isn't it? So right. So the usual suspects. Let me make sure I've got that control. That looks slightly blurry, and it shouldn't. Just bear with me for a second. Oh, Ivor, you're so kind. Thank you very much. I will drink a coffee in your honour. Actually, we'll meet up and we'll have a coffee. Since you're only down the road. Let me have a look. I'm just having a look at this camera. Looking slightly blurry. So HD webcam. HD Pro webcam. Okay, should be palette. Yeah, that's it. Why did that sort of, why did that disappear like that? Yeah, so now it's sharp. Okay, hope that's better for you. Yes, so right, what I've got here, titanium white, okay? And the reason I use titanium white rather than zinc white, for example, is because, okay, get that off of there. Oh, what's going on? Did you know? Oh, get off. There's an issue occurring here. Get off. Oh. No. All right. So, I don't know. My computer's doing computery things. So titanium white, yes, the way I use titanium white is it's very strong. It's got a lot of covering power. And for example, zinc white is much weaker. And I think that you can make a strong paint like that weaker, by putting in an additive like a medium, if you need to. But you can't make a weak paint stronger. So that's my rationale. I'm going to put in a bit of red there. Cobalt blue. This is a restricted palette, okay, which is based on the printer's palette. Apart from this, oh sorry, I did a silly thing there. I should have put the black in first. Yes, I do use black, especially for teaching, because it's very, very useful for making shadows. But that's all you use it for. Okay, so if you know about making shadows from the complementary colours, then you don't need to use black. But it's really useful to teach with. Okay, right. So what am I going to paint on? Let me try that. So, what? Okay, there. That is, look, size of my hand. It's 5 inches by 7 inches. Okay, I'll have to shift over in my seat. So the first thing I'm going to do is put on a wash. I made this little canvas panel myself. So I think I got, yeah, it's muslin, if I remember correctly. Muslin over a bit of a square of MDF. Was it MDF? Yeah. And then I'm going to wipe that back. Stop it being so sopping wet. All right, yeah, what's the difference between cyan primary and cobalt blue? Right, it's cyan primary is actually quite green looking. And also isn't always necessary. It used to be so that you'd find cyan in an art shop at all, especially not around here anyway. You can find it a lot more these days. So it's a kind of a greenish blue, and the other one is the magenta, and the magenta is very pink. Okay, so I just wanted to choose commonly available colours, like permanent rose and cobalt blue, instead of cyan and magenta, because the yellow is very similar to the process yellow anyway. The white is from the paper, and the black is the very same as process black. But I just wanted to use those because they were kind of commonly available, and they kind of do the same job. They achieve the same wide gamut of colours. So that was the only reason. You could I could have gone with cyan and magenta, but I wanted it to be slightly more like a traditionalist palette, if you see what I mean. And I've done paintings with cyan and magenta, cyan, magenta, yellow, and process yellow, and cyan and magenta. I've done paintings like that, and I found they looked a little bit insipid. Now that could have been just me, but I found that I could get sort of more punchy colours with cobalt and permanent rose. And even though I was a printer, and I kind of used to use all these things all the time. We used to talk about colour mixing and percentages of each colour. The thing is actually sort of understanding why it's cyan and why it's magenta. It's a whole other thing. There's a good what's he called? Is it Painting by Pete or something like that? It is a good guy who's into colour, and he explains it. But it's very scientific, and I'm not very much of a scientist. So I don't know whether that answers your question very much, Pietro, but yeah. So I'm going to start out with a drawing, okay? So I'm just measuring that. It looks like a square, so I'm going to say I want it to come out to there and to there, because I'm kind of limited by my width rather than my height. So if that's a square, the actual jug always kind of appears smaller than you think. Something like that. That means I can put in a little rectangle. I might just bring it down a little bit there. And keep it a little longer than it actually is. Right, so the spout kind of occupies about maybe 10% of the width, and the handle a bit more. Okay, so that means I can put the symmetrical bit down there like that, and there's a bit of a rake, a bit of an angle on that. And now I'm going to put in the curve, straight lines. I can always change that later, and this has got to agree up here. This can be dark there, and the handle comes around like that to the same height as the top of the jug, and it comes down at a similar rake to the side of the jug and comes up about there. And the spout, there's a kind of an inverted S there. Just to warn you that the angle might be slightly different here, because when I photographed it this for the software so that you could see it on the screen at the same time, because I don't have a camera that will show the object I'm painting. So, and lenses make things look different. I'm not quite sure I understand why, but you take a photograph with two different cameras at exactly the same spot and they'll look different. If anyone knows why, tell me. I'm going to bring my horizon down a wee bit there, and straighten it out. I don't want it at an angle. Okay, and then there's the reflection. So it comes down there like that, goes down, up, and up around there. So those are the corners of that foreground that it's sitting on. There's something being reflected here on the right. There's a bit, there's the kind of the hole into the jug there. What do you call it? Not sure what you call it anyway. So I've got my drawing in. Oh, there's one thing. There's a shadow coming off to the right. Something like that. Right, and now I'm going to put in some dark darks. And the dark darks for me are like mapping points. Just in case you lose your drawing, if you've got the darks in as mapping points, you can sort of get yourself back on track. So let's put in a dark there. A dark there. Where else do I see a dark? A bit down the side there. there's a strange one there. I don't know what is causing that little thing there. And then there's a dark running down the side of the spout, then up under it. Okay, maybe there. Okay, and then there. All right, so now I've got those points in there. I'm going to paint. I'm going to block in the colours. So I'm going to block in the foreground first, which is kind of a peachy colour, isn't it? It's a peach, kind of almost like a flesh tone. So let's get some white. Make sure I get enough white, some yellow, and some red. It's more yellow than that. And it's slightly greyer, so I'm going to put in a touch of blue. More yellow again. I'll just put in a little bit of solvent to loosen the paint a bit. A bit more yellow and a bit more white. Just to make the body colour of that peach colour. It looks much yellower and brighter on the screen, but it's darker in reality. I'll hold it up against there. That's not too bad. So I've got my body colour there, and now I'm going to take a bit off to the side and make a shadow. Just using a little bit of black. But I'm also going to put in a little bit of red to it. A bit more black. Mixing incrementally. A bit more red. Okay. And I'm going to put that in first, because we're working from dark to light. Push that up there. And then that reflects in there. Okay. Now I'm going to put in the body colour. You probably can't see it very much. It's quite similar to the wash that I put on. All will become clear, I suppose. Yeah. Let's put that up there. Make sure I've got enough. Okay. In there. Okay, and that's blocked. So that means I can block it in here. So that's just a direct reflection. Now there is a tarnish, but we don't need to do anything about that yet. Okay, so I've got that in there. Anywhere else? Yes, down the side of that handle. And also in the spout. Okay, so I'm going to do the background. The background is a kind of a warm, dark grey. So I'm going to use some burnt sienna actually, and some blue, and a bit of white. A touch of black as well. Blue. Bit of red into it, a touch more white. Okay, I'm going to put that in there. It's nice and dark. Block that in. Put that up there. I'm not going to get rid of my drawing yet. Keep my drawing obvious. block all that. Right, and where does that also reflect? I just, as a matter of course, in that that solvent in here, fairly mucky looking, but it just is. Yeah. In fact, I had a little bottle of Zest It there, because I use Zest It these days, because it's studio safe, and it was difficult to actually sort of use the bottle, so I actually just brought this over and threw some white spirit into it. You know, if you're going to do a practice painting, and you can use white spirit. It does work. It can make your paintings look a bit dull, but when they dry. But you can always put in or put what do you call it? Varnish on your painting, and it revives it. It looks wonderful after that. So I'm going to put some blue, make a darkish blue grey, okay, for this part here. And that kind of goes up almost to there. Yeah, I can't talk and paint at the same time, which is a bit of a handicap for a teacher, isn't it? There you go, in there. Liquin is nice, but I kind of don't use it as much as I could, because you really do need good ventilation, I think, with that stuff. I don't know whether it's that good for you. I could be wrong. Right, I'm going to push out that that very dark here up a bit. There, needed a bit, make more of that. Go back to my bluey grey. Put that in there where I see it. Kind of goes up the handle there a little bit. Now across the top it's reflecting, I mean, my studio is quite a dark place, so it seems to me to be slightly greenish, so I'm going to make a mid-green grey. Maybe brighter than I have it there. Put that there and run it around the back. There, and of course there too. That's reflecting the same thing. Liquin is actually useful, especially if you're in a rush to get a painting ready for an exhibition. That's kind of a grey there, and it kind of occurs there too. And then it seems to be reflecting the foreground a bit up here. So we've got that there. I'm going to bring that foreground down the side of that handle as well. There's a reddish tarnish. Maybe sort of use a bit of burnt sienna and red just underneath the spout there. And also it goes reddish over here. Now, we were talking at the class today that the tarnish, silver reflects kind of warmly, not like stainless steel. Stainless steel is like a real mirror, and but silver kind of reflects warmly. And the thing is when you're painting it, if you make it too different, then the illusion that it's a reflection, you kind of lose it, so you've got to be careful. There. It goes slightly bluish as it goes off to the left. I'm going to put that in. Must be reflecting something cool and blue over there. There's a red running down the left-hand side. a vivid red. There. I need to get that green grey and run that further over to the right there. And also I need to get that around there too. Now that reflection underneath the spout needs to go in there. There are a couple of small red reflections here too. There and there. Right, I'm going to restate some of my darks. I think I might actually change my brush to the small one. So this is a number 2. And I'm going to have to steady my hand. So push that over there. And there's a dark grey running up there, there, there. Push that there. And I'm going to restate some of this. It's probably slightly too, how would you say it? A bit too liquid. I think I probably put a bit too much solvent in that time before. Right, there's a dark grey here as well. There. Okay, I'm going to grab my foreground colour. There's a lighter blue-grey running across the top there. I'm going to tighten up this part here. I'm also going to make the handle a bit more slender, so sculpt that down. Okay. What else have I got? There's everything moves, so the reflections keep changing as you're painting because you're shifting around in your seat or sinking. That's another one. You're sinking in your seat as time goes by. So let's put that up there like that. And I might, there's a kind of more goldeny grey. Over here. As I say, my monitor and my cameras might not be picking it up the same way as my eye does. There. Now there is a kind of a golden, dark golden grey inside the jug. Around about here. It's going to record that. Okay, and maybe go slightly reddish as a grey over this side, because there's an awful lot of red floating around. Let me get that foreground colour and sculpt that up into there. Yeah, that's better. There's a slight lighter grey in that one there. So I'm going to put that in there as well. Because it's reflecting lots and lots of things, even though just in my studio, which is as I say, gloomy. Okay, so I'm going to head towards the highlights now. Okay, so I'm going to grab, they are all warm highlights, really. They're all warm, so I'm going to grab some white, some yellow, tiny bit of yellow, and a touch of red. See what that makes. Put some more white in it, make sure they're nice and bright. Okay, so I've put the paint on the brush. Proud of the brush, if you see what I mean. I'm going to put that one there. Just going to leave the paint on there. And leave the paint on there. And leave it on here. You know, so without brushing it. So it's very thick, actually. And then, I've got to steady my hand here, hang on. There. And there. And here. And there. And there's this kind of a less bright highlight, but it is a highlight nonetheless. There's the rim of that. I think there must have been a lid with this thing at one point. So there, around there, and even here as well. Put that there like that. Yes, and there's also a kind of a light bluish light running around here. This is hard. This thing is so far away from me that I'll have to sculpt it in at a later point. There. And then there are a couple of bluish lights there. Oh, there's a little highlight that I missed. There's one that I can see here, which is next to that handle. Okay, and there's a light foreground tone coming down there like that. Let's get a dark and hook that under there. And then there's a grey on this side, running down the side. There's a dark. Let's put it in just there. Okay, and now I'm going to refine some of these areas here. So push that up. There. And ooh. No, that's all dark. That's okay. That's fine there. Bring that there. Yes, I'm going to get my background. Do something here as well. I'm going to darken that. That means I can make the handle more slender. And here too. Come around the back of that. And in here to refine that, can push that in a bit. Let's push that into shape. And likewise, push that into shape as well. It's a very, very slender line. Okay. Have I gone all quiet? Okay, so now I'm going to do something with the foreground. So let's mix up another one. When a builder has kind of finished doing your extension or building your house, and all the fittings are done, the electricians have gone in, the roof is on, just before the decorators go in, they go around doing something called making good. Like fixing things, just small things that need to be reworked. And often I just call this part making good. But it's just refinement really, and extra modelling. And that can also be pushed around a little bit, made less distinct. And also it's more bluish on that side, just in there. And also sort of, you can sort of grab you can lose some of the edges. Doesn't do a bit of harm, it probably does some good as well, you know. If you lose a couple of the edges, it actually contrives to make it look more like silver. Because obviously some of the edges have disappeared. There's a little bit of that handle around there that needs to come around there like that. And there, like that. And then what I tend to do, oh yeah, let me just do a bit more with that red. There. It's nice to have red in a painting, actually. I actually put a red pot off to the side just in order to have it reflect in the painting. This needs to be pushed over a bit. And then I get a dry brush, and sometimes I just sort of lose some of these sharp edges, just a little bit, just lost and found edges. It makes the thing look more agreeable, I think, but without flattening it, without sort of blending. There's enough information in there now for it to mean not to have to sort of put a load more in. that's the thing, Miles. I just saw your comment there. Is that it kind of looks a bit sort of undone until the highlights go in. As soon as the highlights go in, the thing suddenly takes on a life of its own. And then push that up, because that doesn't need to be a big blob. Push that up into it. And then lose that edge there a little bit. I told you I was an obsessive completist. I have to stop myself. I think I should employ somebody to come in and hit me over the head with a hammer to stop me painting. Otherwise I'll just go on and on. Don't act on that, guys. And then if I just I just want to put in a little bluish grey around the edge there. And now, in that spirit of making good, I want to put in a few colours that aren't actually there that necessarily, so make that a little bit bluer. Put in a little few dabs in there. Give it a bit more information, and also to tuck that part up there a little bit more. Can you hear the rain on the roof of this bloody place? I think I'm going to have to knock this down and just go and pay for a studio somewhere. Push that around, just right there. I can't get across the back of that without sort of cricking my neck, but there. Somebody shout stop. Oh, there's a little greenish light, I suppose. Light? It's grey, really, but it's greenish grey that I want to put in here. Yeah, that'll do, that'll do. It's my family motto. That'll do. The handle needs a bit, oh God, here we go, yeah. The handle needs a bit of work at the back. So bang goes my idea of keeping this to an hour. I'm so far away from this painting that I can't get in close anyway. So I've got a camera between me and it. There, stop it, Kevin, stop it. All right. Mmborg 00. Thank you very much, you're very kind. Let me just go back to teacher. Oh. So, I mean, that's it. Well, I don't know how long that took. I started at 6:30, so 40 minutes or something like that. So yeah, look at the colour. The colour is all wrong. Let me put it under the other camera. I think that's better, isn't it? Let's take those things away. I don't want to put it on the actual paint, so shove that over a bit. Yeah, that sort of take the glare off it, and then it sort of, yeah. So there you go. I think if you did one of those a day, you'd be laughing. You know, they're only small. Look at it. It's tiny. So and my contention is that if you go through the whole process from beginning to end, you know, you'll internalize the process, and then you won't have to worry about it anymore. You just concentrate on your painting, because all paintings really can start the same way. There are many, I mean, I'm sure there are thousands of different permutations of starting a painting or, taking it through to completion. But there's one for you. And, the more complicated your paintings get, it's still the same thing. Yeah. Oh, Waverley. Well, wait till you see it. I mean, I've been doing this all bloody week, but I've been doing the same one. Up we go. I mean, when I say I've been doing it all week, that's 3 classes plus this. So that was Tuesday. I can't say, put it here, hang on, put it back on the palette thing. So that was Tuesday. It looks very sort of vague and that anyway, but that was Wednesday evening. Yeah, Wednesday evening. And that was this morning. So they're all, I mean, these are even quicker. They're about 30 minutes or something because I have everyone sitting behind me while I'm doing it. But yeah, so I might have a tea set, but it'll be loads and loads of milk, won't it? Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Yeah, it's a bit tiring. I've got a crick in my neck as well, so through kind of being in awkward positions to paint. Yeah, so look, if you do like this stuff, come and join me next week. Next week, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but I'll do something. And say if you like to do this stuff, there's always the option, as you can see just above. Somebody gave a £5 to. That will, help me to keep these things going. If not, but it's entirely up to yourselves. Nobody is under any obligation to do that. And so, have you anything else that you might add to this? I wanted to show you that. Where's that? Oh yeah. It's always interesting to do new work, and it was interesting to see Pietro talking about doing palette knife work. Because, I also explore and, I'm trying to push out the boundaries and find out about other styles of painting and actually say things that are on my mind. And, I'm not the most sort of forthright of people. I don't sort of foist my opinions on people, but, I kind of do put them in paintings in a kind of an oblique way. But I just thought I'd show you because I'm just interested at the moment after visiting a few museums in France and where else did I go? In Belgium actually, and you're seeing all the moderns. That I got very interested in Braque, Picasso, Matisse, and all that. So that's my sort of attempt. That's all acrylics, by the way. Attempt. And it's just about my interest in music, and I play music, and I just wanted to sort of celebrate it, I suppose. Really, I mean, which is not really an opinion, but it's exploration, and I love doing it. And I had in the back of my mind, there's an illustrator I know. He's an English guy. He lives in Ireland too, and his work is beautiful and really stylish. And his name's Steve Simpson, actually. And he actually, when he was, I think he had an uncle, I think, who worked on the Beano, if you've ever heard of that. It's a children's comic. And so he used to go to the studio where some of the work was being produced. I mean, Beano, I grew up with the Beano. We used to read it regularly. It was a big thing in our week, maybe on a Sunday or something, to get a few pence and go off to the newsagents and get a copy of the Beano when we were little, And so he grew up to be an illustrator, and his work is very beautiful. A lot of it is folk art inspired, and so it's decorations and decorations within decorations. And I wanted to start getting that into this work via the vehicle of cubism, because then you stop worrying about painting things. Even though Picasso never did abstract work, as far as I can tell, he always painted things. I thought, oh God, you know, that's good, you know, because I don't want to. Every time I've done an abstract, I felt it was fraudulent. But once you get away from the actual sort of you know, the depiction of things in an accurate way, and you start doing it in a stylistic way, it opens up whole new avenues of things to do in your painting. You know, I've often sort of loved the way certain illustrators incorporate text into their work and everything. I can't really do it myself, but I wouldn't mind having a go at it, and maybe I do in my sketchbooks. But the cubism thing was good. It's a very interesting way of thinking, where everything's flat. I think mainly they painted in muted colours like greys and you know, dark somber colours, and I tend towards rich colours. But I mean, who cares? That's them and this is me. But you know, everything's done on flat planes, and then you just make compositions, and they're compositions for their own sake. They're not actually sort of you know, they're not like life. So I really enjoyed that, and I want to do some more, because you can bring in modern, you know, modern components into your painting. Like, for example, like in the design industry, you know, using Photoshop, using Illustrator, and I use Affinity products, you know, so Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo, but they use things called Bezier curves, you know, and they're just this functional thing in design software. But I want to bring it into painting, you know, and start sort of working it into the painting, because that's modern life, and we should be talking about, you know, what's going on at the moment. Maybe, I don't know. Okay, so Strong Island gal, fair play to you, and you're very welcome. Oh, here, hang on, Waverley Wonder. I need to get you. Oh, you play bagpipes. I love the bagpipes. I've been listening a lot lately to the Scottish small pipes. Now, I used to play the uilleann pipes, and I didn't get that far. In the end, they sort of ended up in the box under the bed for about 5 years before I sold them to this pastor, who was the piping pastor of somewhere beginning with P, and so I took up the fiddle, and I kind of play instruments, and then I either fail at it or I get bored, and I change instruments. So in other words, I never really get good at anything, but I love it all, and I love the sessions of music with pipes. Yeah, the more I find out about it, better. The Northumbrian pipes, lovely. Got to be great. What a talented bunch we are, eh? You know, all the things that we do. It's amazing. Humans are amazing, and you know, we should look after them, shouldn't we? Yeah. So look, that'll do for now. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. You know, I wish the conversation wasn't as one-sided as it is. It'd be nice to hear voices, but and bagpipes. But there, and I promise I won't inflict any of my fiddle music on you. So look, have a lovely week, and I hope, you know, with the help of God and the following wind, to see you next week. So look after yourselves, stay out of the rain, and I'll see you then. And by the way, thank you very much, Ivor, for what you did there. I appreciate it. And do get in touch, and we'll go for a coffee. Yeah, if you can, even after work. Tea, doesn't matter. Probably couldn't take a beer at this stage. All right, listen, have a lovely week, guys. Bye.